You're listening to a 3CR podcast created in the studios of independent community radio station 3CR in Melbourne, Australia. For more information, go to allthews.3cr.org.au.
We're putting up new buildings, we're knocking down the old. We're working in the summer heat and in the winter cold. And the labour power we sell, me boys, for a hard and weekly pay, produces mighty profits for the greedy MBA. And whether we were born here or born in Italy, in Greece, in Spain or Ireland, in England or Fiji, we all of us are workers, united we must stand, until the wealthy bludgers have been driven from our land. We faced deregistration, it backfired in the face. We're not fooled by arbitration, we won't stay in our place. We hit the bosses hard and fast to win and keep our gains, and break a couple of concrete pours to back our log of claims. So keep your powder dry and hold your head up high. It's class to class and face to face, our limit is the sky. We've got a fighting history and we never will be cowed. Our builders' labour is a name to make a man feel proud.
And it's good morning from the Concrete Gang, bright-eyed, bushy-tailed and just back from a very nice Easter break. Good morning, Gorilla. Good morning, Goanna.
Morning, listeners.
Good morning, Warren. Listeners out there, yes.
We're lacking a few this morning.
We are. It's all right. We'll make up with pure skill. You've got the star of the show here, self-proclaimed.
Yes, well, the would-be and the could-be has failed to appear, and there's a couple of others who...
Campo.
Campo,
he's got a bit of a head of himself, Campo, and he's strutting around like he owns the joint now. Campo comes and goes when he likes, gives orders out, like, Gorilla, fix this up, get that done and all that, and I'm just off for a week. Who do you think he is, this Campo? Loses a couple of pounds, loses his personality, and then trying to run the show. What do you reckon, Kano?
I think there's a rumour he might have lost his ability to hold his drink too.
Well, that was never one of his strengths, but anyway.
Anyway, one would hope that we would see Campo and Loose Lips back in the fold next week, but in the short week that we have had since the Easter break...
worst Easter break I've ever had.
Well... There was a tune that did come to mind. It was called Ghost Town by the Specials. And it was a ghost town for sure over Easter in Melbourne.
Now,
no football.
No pubs. Nothing.
Nothing.
Now, I've got to say something. I did do just a little bit of one of my good friends, old Skinny, he lives in the Commissions down in the beloved Port Melbourne, and I caught up with him. We had a few beers. And I was sitting on his balcony and I said, geez, you've got a good view of this. Why don't you trim these plants? He says, I'll trim all of them, but those three in front, they're marijuana along. So I'll just give him up. We get a drug buster next week. But anyway...
He's to be tested. They get tested now.
You're giving a few people up in this little conversation, but never mind.
Then he fell asleep and he reckons he doesn't snore, but the bloke 3 blocks from down the road coming and complaining about his snoring. But anyway, it was a good little afternoon. That was my highlight, afternoon with Skinny. Like weekend at Bernie's, afternoon with Skinny.
Righto. Let's just remind people that Easter was a shutdown weekend, 6 days, and obviously the union was very clear in its answer to all requests for exemptions to work. I'm sure that we will find out there were some rats and mice who snuck into a few jobs, but I think overall the industry did shut down, and it probably did everyone a little bit of good after all the stress and anxiety that's been going on for a few weeks. And now that the infection rate with COVID-19 is dropping away, now that people are talking about reopening the rest of industry, it makes damn good sense to have kept our industry going through the period. There's a few chicken littles out there who reckon the sky was going to fall and they were all going to die and all the rest of it, and a few other fraudsters who thought they were going to get a few weeks off on pay. But really we've kept the industry going, and it's just as well, because one of the effects of COVID-19 has been a massive hit to the economy, and one of the first areas in the economy that is affected when there is a downturn is construction. But we've kept it going, and I think everyone is going to be looking back in a few months' time and going, it was probably the best move that we ever made, because people are at least in jobs.
Yeah, I definitely think people underestimated the time that the industry would have stopped if we had have just panicked and not tried to manage the safety. And let's be honest, who manages safety better than we do? We've had to hold hands with certain builders and subcontractors, but the reality is we've done the best of our capability and the advice we've been given. And I think that overall, the majority of the industry is doing a great job. Yeah. There were people, the usual stone throwers that, want to use it as an opportunity to try and build their own platform up. But the union has made the right decision, I feel. And after speaking to members on jobs after toolboxes, etc., once it's explained to them, they understand as well that it is important that we do stay open, as long as we're doing it safely. And the union's role is to make sure that we look after our membership, not go off half-cocked and allow people just to provide their own platforms for their own benefits. The leadership made the right decision, I feel, and so far it's been managed well overall. Yes, there are a few rats and mice out there, but we're getting to them. The boys are going to jobs daily, checking for health and safety issues, etc. So I think overall we've done pretty well.
Yeah, I'd agree with that, Gowan. And I mean, you've got to realise you don't shut the construction industry and expect to get it going again in 5 minutes. It just doesn't happen. It could be out for months, 6 months at least, So that's what the union was worried about, because once that happens, we have a lot of people out of work, a lot of people, and don't worry about the coronavirus. You reckon that's going to kill a few? If we have a recession and people out of work, there's going to be a lot more people lose their lives. Don't worry about that with depression and all sorts of things. So the union was very aware of all that. So. And we've had a history of the industry shutting down a couple of times in the past, Warren, and we all know how hard it is to get going again, don't we?
Well, 1990, for the young ones who don't remember it, whose fathers might even have trouble remembering it, it was a period that wasn't just a few months, it was a number of years before the industry got back on its feet, and we don't need to see that again.
Yeah, I was out for 3 years, I think. A bit more to do with someone else keeping me out of work, but anyway, it's another story.
Something like with me, but anyway, never mind.
If you are working on a job, but and you do think that there are corona issues or it's not being managed properly, contact your union, contact the office organiser, use the network, and we'll get down there and make sure that they are facilitating the right safety procedures.
And again, a cheerio to the all the crews that are working on the hospital upgrades to give the state a capacity to deal with the maximum amount of intensive care beds that might be needed. Well done to those folks out there.
And the Peggies, but we give them a shout out last week, but I don't think that's, we can't stop appreciating the job the Peggies do. They're on the front line of all this corona disease, cleaning the sites to make sure they're clean for all the members. So if you're on the job, give them a good pat on the back and say, appreciate what they're doing, because touch wood, we haven't had any outbreaks on the building site, and that's due to the position the union's held and with the builders trying to keep the jobs clean and safe for the members.
And just a little mention there to all the opportunists that are out there with all their fabulous Corona-19 cures and treatments that are going to make the industry safe. Everyone's coming out of the woodwork with a great new idea which costs a fortune but is going to save lives. Not one of them endorsed by the Department of Health, I might add.
If they'd be any good, the concrete gang would be using them and running and making a quid out of it, wouldn't we, Warren?
Correct. Right, just quickly.
And we would have announced it first.
That's right. Now, just a reminder that this weekend is normal weekend, but the following weekend is Anzac Day. On the Saturday and Monday is the substitute public holiday under the calendar and the EBA. That was fully endorsed by the disputes panel when the MBA and LU Simons took us to court. We won the case. It is a shutdown. It is no doubt about it at all. If you are asked to work on the Monday, then it's double time and a half because it's a public holiday. And the Tuesday, of course, is the RDO. So don't forget, if there's any problems with your boss, ring the union office, get in touch with your delegate, your organiser. But the Anzac Day on the Saturday is definitely not to be worked. It's only a sign of respect that you can give each year to those who have served our country. Righto, we might cut to a track. And the track we've got is John Prine, and who passed away in America this week from coronavirus. And his tune is a bit of a classic.
And this is Robbie V's sending a request for this. Good, Robbie V's a long-time listener of ours. Good on you, Robbie. So I hope we've got it right for you, mate.
She don't like her eggs all runny. She thinks crossing her legs is funny. She looks down her nose at money. She gets it on like the Easter bunny. She's my baby, I'm her honey. I'm never gonna let her go.
He ain't got laid in a month of Sundays. Caught him once and he was sniffing my undies. He ain't too sharp, but he gets things done. Drinks his beer like it's oxygen. But he's my baby and I'm his honey. I'm never gonna let him go.
In spite of ourselves, we'll end up sitting on a rainbow. Against all odds, honey, we're the big door prize. We're gonna spike our noses right off of our faces. There won't be nothing but big old hearts dancing in our eyes. She thinks all my jokes are corny. Convict movies make her horny. She likes ketchup on her scrambled eggs. Swears like a sailor when she shaves her legs. She takes a licking and keeps on ticking. I'm never gonna let her go.
He's got more balls than a big brass monkey. He's a whacked out weirdo and a love bug junkie. Sly as a fox, crazy as a loon. Payday comes and he's a howling at the moon. But he's my baby, I don't mean maybe. I'm never gonna let him go.
In spite of ourselves, we'll end up sitting on a rainbow. Against all odds, honey, we're the big door prize. We're gonna spike our noses right off of our faces. There won't be nothing but big old hearts dancing in our eyes. In spite of ourselves, we'll end up sitting on a rainbow. Against all odds, honey, we're the big door prize. We're gonna spike our noses right off of our faces. There won't be nothing but big old hearts dancing in our eyes. There won't be nothing but big old hearts dancing in our eyes. in spite of ourselves.
Righto, we're back on air, and
We hope.
We hope.
We haven't said, we're still recording this from the union headquarters.
From the garage at the union office.
Yeah, we found a place where the light works. Unbelievable. We're under hard times here, but anyway, we're used to it, the concrete gang.
So we should...
It's just like working at 3CR, actually. No lights, no chairs, nothing works.
Yes, right. Now, moving right along, we should also mention that on Thursday night last week, Christian Porter, the so-called Attorney General of this country, Minister for Industrial Relations, put out a press release in which he trumpets the wonderful efforts of the government to give employers new rights under the Fair Work Act. So apparently what's happened is the regulations have been changed, which means that an employer who wants to change the terms of the EBA with his employees only has to give a day's notice, can call a meeting and have people vote on those changes. As it stands at the moment, the Fair Work Act requires 7 days notice before there can be a vote. In this change that Christian Porter's bragging about, people will get 1 day's notice to vote on changes to the EBA. So you can imagine the sorts of rorts that will go on with that sort of proposition being put out to employers. Here's your chance to get rid of all the conditions in the EBA because of coronavirus. They're still working, they're still making a quid, the cash flow is still there, but all sorts of rorts will be required by employers because, oh dear, it's an opportunity and they will take full advantage of it. So if there is any suggestion that there is going to be a meeting to talk, let alone vote on your EBA, get in touch with your organiser, get in touch with the office, because it will be passed by a vote, and if the meeting is stacked, you know what the vote's going to be. And once it's changed, then what will happen is it will continue to change, and the suggestion is that that change might continue right through till the agreement is replaced by a new one.
They don't miss an opportunity, do they? To sink the boots into the workers any chance they can. You know, we're helping keep the economy moving, and will help majorly in the recovery. But they want to slip it into the workforce and the rank and file, make them work cheaper and longer hours, etc., and turn the profits bigger for the companies that the rank and file work for. The important thing that Warren just said is that if there is a proposal put by your employer in terms of a change to your EBA, make sure you contact your union straight away so that we can make sure that we hit the ground running and make sure that everything is done correctly and workers are voting based off an educated decision rather than just chaos.
And a cheerio therefore to the boys at Dynamic Closures who had a proposition put to them and they rang the union and the matter was put to a very quick halt.
Yeah, it can be very easy, you just need to notify.
Righto, now there's been plenty happening out in the world, even in the short week we've had. ARC 3 have now blotted the copybook 2 weeks in a row, and a couple of other people along the way out in the northern suburbs. I think Chase is also mentioned, and
yeah,
there's a trio, isn't there?
ARC 3, fair income. Build Corp / ARC 3. They've started a job at Coburg, as I've said before on the show. They found themselves wanting with traffic management on a Vic road, and were educated by the union at the requirement that needs to happen. So the work didn't progress that day. That was just before the break, and we returned yesterday to find they do have the correct traffic management in place, but they're trying to force the crane crew to set up on a site next to one of the bluestone walls without a geotech to lift material up onto the job. I think they were actually putting the rope back up on the crane to recommission it. But that's the sort of attitude that they've got. When the union turned up, the project manager decided that he wanted to have an argument and said that it can be achieved within the swims, even without the geotech. So he needed to be guided through that journey as well, and that crane went, and along with the day's progress.
So he knew there was no pipes or holes under all those crane outriggers, did he? He's a genius, this bloke. It wouldn't have been the Scotch College carpenter, would it?
Nah, it wouldn't. He'd have his fingerprints somewhere, but no.
He would have been up to his neck in that, mate.
Yeah.
Don't worry about that.
The developer's going to be getting some interesting photos anyway.
Well,
We also got a Chase, which is a job on the lower side of Pentridge, which they're doing groundworks and basement work at the moment, but there's a 17-storey tower going to go ahead there. They have not handled the issue in returns to amenities and being able to wash up, clean hands, etc. Union went there, notified them that they were there for under their REOs, and they progressed to not really want to assist us. They were told what needs to be rectified. WorkSafe were contacted, and no surprise, WorkSafe didn't turn up again. Both jobs, WorkSafe notified, went through the process of contacting the assistance line, and no one turns up. So no surprises there. But ARC3, I know we had you in the office, and we've laid down what the expectations are. And I believe that James believes that the union will just go away. It'll all be good.
Yeah.
Guess what, James? We're going nowhere, and all eyes are on Coburg.
And as you said, go and that area you're talking about, I think that's where that pump collapsed and killed the bloke years ago. Where one of the outriggers, there was pipe work or undermining underneath the outriggers, because they hadn't done what you're talking about. Geotech the area, made sure it was safe to set the cranes up or the pump. So they don't learn too much, do those builders, and they would have known all about that. But it's all about cutting costs of the workers' safety, and thank God the union was out there to make sure they had done that, because we could be staring another death in the face. But yeah, anyway, so as you say,
old saying, pay peanuts, you get monkeys.
Yeah, well, yeah. I wonder how James is going, but anyway. All right, what else we got? Oh.
As we pass the microphone around the table, I should mention the ABCC might be in self-isolation, working from home, but they still sending emails, and they're sending emails all over the joint, making threats, demanding all sorts.
Surely they're not an essential service.
Well, if you're working from home, I suppose you get an exemption under the EBA from Christian Porter. You can do anything.
I reckon that's what Campo's doing. He's mastered that, working from home, isn't he, Campo?
Well, that's a distinct possibility. But anyway, the ABCC are pursuing a number of officials of the CFMEU, even though they are doing it by email. And they've demanded all sorts of documents for discovery, etc., etc. So it will be a usual business when shall we say, normality returns.
Do you reckon that if we could harmonise everyone in the industry to wash their hands at one point at the same time for 20 seconds, we'd rid ourselves of the ABCC disease? Do you reckon that can be achieved?
Not just washing your hands, bro. You need to be gurneyed down. Gurneyed. I mean, it's a joke. I mean, we keep bringing it up. It does me. I can't believe there's not an uproar about this ABCC. The money they've had, the money they've spent, and they're supposed to be an even-tempered body that's going to also, check up on the bosses and all that. Well, how many bosses have getting emails and been prosecuted? I know how many times we've been prosecuted. How many bosses? Warren, you're all up with all that sort of stuff.
Well,
where's the file? Is it about 20 foot high, the boss's one? I don't think so.
20 centimetres would be an absolute limit, and that'd probably be a friendly. Anyway, we should also...
Well, you're funny you say that. They did prosecute one, was Hutchinson's, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's
for
right.
abiding by their EBA.
And there'll be a couple more along those lines. But we should also mention that when we did win a case against the ABCC, the so-called cup of tea case out at the airport, we won the case and we're still arguing about recovering our costs. And it's going to keep going and keep going. But never mind, we'll have plenty to talk about in due course. But we should also send a cheerio to the hobbling Sammy Carrillo.
Sammy.
Hey.
Thoughts are with you, brother.
Oh, Sammy, eh? The old Sammy Carrillo, the old club foot. Listen, Sammy, you can get a man with a van for $15 when you want to shift your son, mate. So you've tried saving the old Oxford Scholars again. Tried helping him out. Dropped the fridge on the old 3 LOs, and now you got a club foot, mate. I mean, just it's all about money with you, mate. And you're sleeping with the lights on again, Sam. You've done it again, mate.
Anyway, cheerio to Sammy. He had an incident, had his foot crushed, moving furniture, and pretty serious damage done, but had the safety boots on, and I think that saved his foot.
Yeah,
well done, Sammy.
Hope you come good, mate. All the best.
And he'd be covered, yeah?
Yeah,
be covered.
Yeah.
Leisure Time Insurance.
He is covered by Leisure Time Insurance, indeed.
Brought to you by your union.
So, Scallywags, who have we got?
We'd have to go Arc 3 again, wouldn't we?
Arc 3, Chase again.
Chase again, but Arc 3.
Who is Chase?
Exactly.
Righto, I've got another one, SAS. Sacked about 15 blokes, including the shop steward. Absolute joke.
Not paying meal and crib correctly either, I believe.
We've got Riddell sacking the OH&S rep on a job and wanting to put a boss in his position.
Yep, and we've got Christian Porter.
Kicking the workers while they're down.
Yep, and dynamic closures for trying to take advantage of JobKeeper, and the blokes basically called it out, and shall we say, common sense reigns supreme. And we've got a Suki Lala, guess who? Guess who?
Who
Come
we
on.
got?
Icon.
He'd be looking for the 1 day change for the agreement, wouldn't he? For the RDA calendar.
Yeah.
Well, Lou and his mate, what's his other mate? Lou and
Michael.
They probably have their own little room. They'll be able to start their own radio show soon and just sook on it, you know, because they're two of the best. Honestly.
Anyway, Icon wanted to work on their job in St Kilda Road over Easter. And anyway, it didn't happen, so they've had a sook, and they claimed that 150 employees were all pissed off because they couldn't work. I think there has been one text message.
One complaint.
And that's about it. So anyway, that's my nomination for Icon. They're going for a clean sweep of the competition this year.
You might as well start engraving the trophy now.
Is that the ABD trophy?
I reckon they're a candidate for Suki Lala as well. But anyway, who are we going with Scallywags?
Who do you like? Go, Anna?
Should we go Porter?
I reckon Christian Porter. I mean,
kicking the rank and file while they're down.
Sheer opportunism on.
Waits to get corona disease and brings in a new rule. He's a beauty. His hands down. Suki Lala.
Well,
Icon. Got to be Lou, hasn't it?
Lou.
Icon.
Jeez. And Lou. All right, so the sweep of that.
Yep.
So.
Righto. So the winner is Christian Porter, and just add that our good friend Mr. Morrison, Scotty from marketing, has said that there will be some things arising out of the coronavirus pandemic. One of that is going to be a change to industrial relations, so expect more of this sort of shit, folks.
So, have we got any other Cheerios before we...
How do they get that? We've had a pandemic health-wise, and they're going to turn that into an IR issue. Never miss an opportunity.
Yes, and I think the ACTU better have a look at just how cooperative they should be, even in this time of pandemic, because they will backflip on you. No doubt at all.
Righto. And we're going the same old way.
Dare to struggle?
Dare to win.
If you don't fight,
You lose.
Good morning from the Concrete Gang, and we're going to go out, hopefully, with Tim Minchin and Briggsy.
Oh.
A little bit of rap about coronavirus.
Warren actually sent me this on the weekend. I was very surprised. Enjoy, listeners.
Hey, yo, Minchin, put some clothes on. I got an idea real quick.
Come, little baby, shelter from the storm. We're going viral and the fire is warm. Keep it calm, carrying on. Scotty's latest presser is depressing, so we're tuning into this
approved message from the senator. Bet you are still trying to find me. Out of office message, mahalo from Hawaii. Leadership's not really something that I'm feeling, kid. You maybe should have voted for the other guy behind me. What's the matter, little Aussie Bradley? You tired? No, everything I own is on fire. Well, your Aussie spirit's lifted and you're still kicking on. Everything's burning.
Better turn the fucking cricket on.
We deserve someone who's a little bit better than it ain't no one but this nice and settled. You ain't fit to push the whip, you're back pedaling. You ain't fit to wear the kicks that I'm threatening. I'm smooth, I'm real nice like, and it's not like I miss this nightlife. It's so good, yes, alright. If we can't start a house party, start a house fire.
Come, little baby, shelter from the storm. We're going viral and the fire is warm. We're good little citizens sitting in the bunker, just watching the boss fumble like my befuddled uncle does. We're rocking the lock-in, self-intern, watching videos of Jacinda Ardern. Shit, even the Kiwis aren't allowed outside.
If you can't start a house party, start a house fire. Briggs 4 p.m. Chuck Peter Dutton if you see it. Deport this. Fuck how you feeling. Pandemic's got them reeling. People need to see you leading. Yeah, fuck it, footy's on. Do it after the weekend. If worst comes to worst, the people come first. Yeah, but I'm gonna need a purse for the Megatron. You ain't fit, we don't get near a penny worth. You ain't fit, the leadership is getting plenty worth. Went to hit the store and everything had been bought. They quarantined us all, so we're sitting indoors. If they're getting on board, I'm pulling this ripcord and ditching this Concorde and splitting like John Ford. I'm real nice like, and it's not like I miss this nightlife. We're all good. Yes, alright. If we can't start a house party, start a house fire. But you're cool. Yeah, you're alright. But I'm kinda sick and tired of being inside. We're all good. Yeah, we're all smart. If we can't start a house party, start a house fire.
Come, little baby, shelter from the storm. We're coughing up lungs and the kettle's on. We already burned the world outside.
If we can't start a house party, start a house fire. Start a house party, start a house fire.
Scotty from marketing, standing there shuffling his papers, wondering what Jesus hasn't come to save us. Looking to Peter Dutton like, what the fuck's happening? At least the Ruby Princess had a fucking captain. Come, little baby, shelter from the storm. Stay in the fucking fight until the bugger's gone. We can still stir shit from the inside.
If you can't start a house party, start a house fire.
You've been listening to a 3CR podcast produced in the studios of independent community radio station 3CR in Melbourne, Australia. For more information, go to allthews.3cr.org.au.